One of the most controversial and debated topics in history is undoubtedly the lion versus tiger debate. Who is truly the strongest, the most aggressive, the most lethal, or the winner of a one-on-one fight? Some argue that the tiger, being larger, has an advantage over the lion. But does size really matter? Lions take down zebras, buffalo, and even giraffes in the wild, which weigh twice or even 3 times their own weight. Bite force, claw size. Do these factors really determine who is more likely to win? No. The bite force, size of canines, and claws of both animals are more than sufficient to cause significant damage to each other, regardless of who has slightly larger canines or claws, which, in reality, is a difference of mere centimeters. So, what truly determines a possible victory in a deadly confrontation between a lion and a tiger? Let's unravel this once and for all. No favoritism, no irrelevant information, and a verdict at the end. Let's begin. Lion, 1.8 to 2.1 meters in length, excluding the tail, 1.2 meters in shoulder height, and weighing 250 kilograms. Tiger, 2.4 meters in length, 1.1 meters in shoulder height, and weighing 290 kilograms. Here we see that the lion is slightly taller than the tiger, but shorter in length and lighter in weight. Nothing significant enough to represent a clear advantage or disadvantage. Beyond size, the physical build of a lion and a tiger is slightly different. Tigers have a more evenly distributed muscle mass across their bodies. As a result, although heavier on average, striped cats are more agile. But this still doesn't determine the outcome of a fight. In fact, both felines are true combat machines, armed with lethal tools evolved for killing. Their retractable claws, sharp as blades, can tear through flesh with ease and inflict deep wounds with a single strike. Their canine teeth, reaching up to 7 centimeters in length, are like natural daggers designed to pierce and crush bones. Both the lion and the tiger possess brute strength and the ability to inflict fatal damage on each other, making this fight a battle of titans. But what truly makes the difference isn't their weaponry or size. After all, both are highly capable of inflicting the worst, but rather their fighting instincts. The tiger, a solitary predator, relies entirely on itself to hunt, survive, and defend its territory, making it an experienced fighter in direct and quick combat. It attacks with bursts of strength, rises on its hind legs, and uses its forelimbs like hammers of destruction. The lion, though powerful, has a different approach. Its life is based on hierarchy and territorial fights against other males, where victory means power and dominance over the pride. It is accustomed to fighting, not for hunting, but for survival within its own group. Its fighting style is aggressive and resilient, enduring injuries and imposing itself through intimidation and brute force. A male lion is naturally more inclined to fight. Its sole task in the wild is to protect its pride, or rather its dominant position, at all costs. Lions never back down, as they are genetically programmed to fight even when outnumbered or at a clear size disadvantage. Contrary to popular belief, the tiger is also a highly territorial animal. Striped cats would certainly confront and fight fiercely against any intruder. Compared to lions, tigers are just less stubborn and not as inclined to always seek confrontations. In the wild, they are solitary hunters, so any injuries sustained in a fight could result in death by starvation. A tiger doesn't take unnecessary risks. If allowed, it is much more likely to flee, but once cornered, the striped cat fights like a demon. Lions are certainly more experienced fighters. Conflicts within the same pride or coalition, being an integral part of their social structure, usually end quickly after the stronger individual proves dominance. But fights between unrelated males, coalitions, or prides are truly bloody, almost always resulting in death or permanent injuries. Tigers, not being social cats, don't fight as often as lions, but their less frequent battles with rivals are more likely to be serious. Striped cats, on average, fight less but almost never lightly. They are notoriously capable of fighting on their hind legs, scratching opponents with both forelimbs. Meanwhile, lions have a heavier front, more developed shoulders and neck muscles, but comparatively weaker hind legs. Lions tend to stay lower while fighting, with 3 legs firmly planted on the ground, scratching with the other. Even when using both forelimbs, which they absolutely can, lions often sit with their hindquarters on the ground. In a hypothetical fight, the tiger would have a clear advantage in using its forelimbs, thanks to its more dynamic combat posture and superior agility, being able to deliver simultaneous strikes with both forelimbs, increasing the number of attacks in a short time. This difference in fighting posture makes the tiger more versatile and unpredictable in close-quarters combat. But any strike from a lion's paw would likely cause more damage. Golden cats generally have a bulkier front and put more weight behind each strike, also due to their fighting posture. In terms of bite force, both felines are likely on the same level, around 1,000 psi. The infamous test on a lion indicating 650 psi, filmed by National Geographic and easily viewable on YouTube, was conducted on a clearly subadult specimen. A new attempt on a smaller-than-average adult lion, 160 kilograms, found 936 psi. In any case, either feline is more than capable of injuring and killing the other, and that's what truly matters in this context. Physically, the lion has a small bonus: its mane. Although recent studies conclusively indicate that the lion's mane has no defensive value, a thick and well-developed mane makes the lion appear larger and more intimidating to rivals, giving it a kind of psychological advantage. Of course, this doesn't matter when we're talking about 2 beings willing to fight each other, but it still increases the thickness of the neck, creating a barrier of dense fur that can make it harder for an opponent to land a perfect bite. In a real confrontation, where every fraction of a second counts, this extra resistance could be enough to disrupt a rival's strategy, making it harder to deliver a precise bite and increasing the lion's chances of reacting before being immobilized. Thus, even if the mane isn't a perfect shield, it still represents a natural obstacle that could influence the course of the fight. Okay, in a fierce confrontation between them, who would win this fight? Let's raise a few more points to answer this. The tiger would likely be marginally larger and more agile, delivering more strikes from a higher position. It would try to immobilize the lion using both forelimbs. The striped cat, due to its greater agility and flexibility, would attack and retreat continuously, moving its entire body to control the distance. The lion would likely be the initial aggressor, attacking and fighting its opponent mostly from a lower position. Often more powerful but less agile than a tiger, the lion would land fewer but stronger paw strikes, while displaying its characteristic head movements to avoid blows. It's almost certain that the lion is the more experienced fighter, but in the early stages of a confrontation, it might sometimes attack to prove dominance. The tiger, if unable to flee, is more likely to go for the kill from the start. Historically, tigers have killed more lions than the reverse in organized confrontations in zoos, arenas, and circus shows. If we look at these historical records and combat patterns, tigers have come out on top in most direct fights against lions. There are numerous accounts of accidental or organized fights in captivity. In a famous incident at Ankara Zoo, Turkey in 2011, a tiger killed a lion in seconds by striking the jugular with a single paw strike. So, based on historical records, we could argue that the tiger would win most of the time. But here's the thing. There are impressive accounts of lions killing adult tigers extremely quickly, proving that this duel can never be considered one-sided. One of the most famous accounts comes from Gir Forest in India, where Asiatic lions were reintroduced into areas shared with Bengal tigers. In one such encounter, a lion reportedly killed a tiger with a single strike, hitting the base of the rival's skull and dropping it instantly. Conclusion? Fights between animals aren't like mathematical simulations where there's always an absolute winner. Claiming that one side will always win is simply impossible. But if we consider historical records, the tiger is the true king. And before lion fans come after me with torches and pitchforks, I'll make a quiet exit. But before I go, do your part. Share this video on your social media, tag that friend who swears the lion always wins. And of course, subscribe to Nature's Secrets for more epic animal battles. See you in the next video, if I survive.